Hello, everybody. Here we are in Canada. I'm PEI Pen Guy, which is a province in Canada. And today we're going to look at a German fountain pen, namely the German-made Pelikano. And so Pelikan is a well-known German manufacturer of fountain pens and inks and stationery. And they have what they call the interesting thing about Pelikan is it's often thought of as a luxury brand, and they are. They have really spectacular fountain pens, very expensive fountain pens, but they also have very cheap fountain pens. And what we're looking at here is we're going to call it the children's line or the student line. We'll say student line, Pelikano, which is a child's pen, really, or, actually an adult pen, but it's designed to be abused almost. You're not going to worry about this pen if somebody drops it and steps on it and cracks it or bends the nib. It's an inexpensive pen, or, well, we'll talk about the price in a bit there. I found it rather interesting when I was looking online, seeing what some of the retailers are charging for this pen. So I got this in Charlottetown here at the Bookmark, and I paid $15 Canadian. And I've looked online and I've seen at a couple other, well, online I've seen it for up to $45 on, and some other retailers in the US, I've seen it for 20, and that's United States dollars. So $15 Canadian is actually really good. So, hey, go to the Bookmark. So what do we have? We have a plastic fountain pen. It has a really interesting sort of clip, kind of almost looks like it was slipped onto the barrel. I haven't tried to take it off, but some kid eventually will pull that off. It has a nice, stiff plastic clip that'll hook onto a shirt or a page in a loose leaf binder or something like that. It has an ink window, which is kind of nice, so you can see if your cartridge is getting empty or low. So Pelikano, it's not the flagship model. Pelikan, would be the more expensive ones. But Pelikano, they have been around apparently. Just noticing online, a few people said Pelikano has been manufactured in Germany since 1960. I would have thought it was a little older than that. But anyway, so the one we have here, I'm not too sure the exact name, but it's a Pelikano, and it comes in 3 colors in Canada anyway. It comes in blue right here, blue, red, and black. So yeah, and I kind of like the blue. It with a nice cheerful color. It has a sort of a silver plastic cap. Looks like it's just, there's a little seam right there. So I don't know, it's probably made in a mold or something like that and formed. And it's a pull cap, and it has a nice little click, I should say. When you open the cap, it has this nice little noise, and I can see a classroom full of children sitting there going like this and driving the teacher crazy. And anyway, it pops off, and what you get is a stainless steel nib. Nothing too fancy. I can almost make out the Pelikan logo. You can just see it there on the cap at the finial, the crown. You have the Pelikan logo, mother pelican with a single chick in what looks like a nest. And there's really nothing on the bottom of the pen. When I roll it around, what first caught my eye is the triangular rubber grip. Reminds me very much of another German manufacturer, Lamy, who has their Safari and their All-Star has this rather interesting triangular grip. Some people like it, Some people don't. I actually kind of like it. Um, it feels nice, and there's some texturing, on one side here, where if you're right-handed, I suppose, your index finger will touch this part right here and hold, and your thumb goes in here, and there's a smaller little indentation on the bottom. So I guess that gives you a bit of, I was going to say grip, but it's made of rubber, so it's not very slippery. It just kind of has a nice feel to it. Kind of maybe it's just a tactile thing, but probably also for gripping. You wouldn't notice that, I guess, if you're left-handed. But anyway, so the length of the pen capped is 13.7 centimeters. Posted, it's 15.6 centimeters. Uncapped, it's 12.4 centimeters, and the weight of the pen empty is 14 grams. So yeah. Now it came with a single cartridge, and it's a long cartridge, Pelican. I believe it's a proprietary cartridges. Now I can buy more of these at the bookmark if I want to, but I could also, when this runs out, I keep these and I'll clean it out and maybe I'll put another ink in it. It's a Pelican blue that's in there now. It's actually quite nice. Packaging wise, this was just in a display. It's nothing fancy. It's just sitting in there's a cardboard display at the store, and they just have the pen sitting there. So it's very utilitarian. It's not necessarily meant to be like a gift pen, right? It's to be used. You go when you're buying your kids or your own stationery products for school. This is just sitting there, ready to go. And it had the cartridge already in it, and it wrote right off the bat. Now I don't know if that's typical of them all, but it wrote immediately. Very nice, very nice. Now, so $14.99 Pelikano. I also have the Pelican Jazz. It's Pelican, and it is in some ways designed more as a gift pen. It's all metal. It came in packaging, and it looked a little fancier, almost like it's meant to be wrapped and given to somebody. I paid $20 for this in Canada, and it's been kind of interesting trying out both of these pens and trying to decide which one I like better. And I'm going to go with the Pelikano in some ways. The Jazz is actually a nice pen. I can see somebody giving the Pelican Jazz, to somebody as a gift. They might be a teenager, they might be an adult who's never really tried fountain pens, or had in the past, and you just want to sort of reintroduce them to the hobby, or they might have expressed interest. So it's just a nicer looking product. In some ways, though, the Pelikano, because it's a little thicker and girthier, it's all plastic with a rubber grip, is a little bit more comfortable for me to use. The Jazz is all metal, has a metallic or a metal grip section here, and I can see somebody finding that a bit slippery or slippy, as we say. So yeah, and it's a nice writer, but in some ways they're very similar writing experiences, and that's to say they're both fine writers. They're both nice writers. They're very nice for a steel nibbed inexpensive fountain pen. It writes quite well, So it's the Pelikano. Medium nib. And one thing I've noticed about it, it has a great flow. It's not a dry pen. The ink in it is very nice. It dries rapidly. And like I said, it actually is a very attractive blue. Very nice. So, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Now, if you notice, I don't know if you can hear it, there is a bit of feedback. You can hear the nib on the paper, but that isn't that when I'm using it, it's not scratchy. It actually goes across the paper very nicely. But there's a bit of feedback, or you have this sort of sensory experience, which is kind of nice. Sometimes when you're writing, you want to hear the pen. You don't necessarily just want this smooth as glass nib where it flows across the paper and you don't hear anything. And sometimes it's nice just to have a little bit of, sensation that you're writing. Now, there is a little bit of line variation, but it's not a flex nib. I wouldn't push down on it myself, but I bet you lots of kids do. But yeah, if you push down a little bit more, you can get a bit more width in your line. I've noticed if you have a weird grip, you might find it a little hard to get it going. If you're over angling, But yeah, there it is. The Pelikano. I like it. And I think adults would like this pen too. It's something that you would toss into a bag and take to the grocery store, or clip it in your shirt. Take it out with you when you're making notes somewhere. You're not going to worry about it getting damaged or lost. I can see somebody who's trying to enable people carrying several of these around, well, 3 or 4, and just giving them away to random friends. I like it. Anyway, I hope you're having a good day. It's nice and sunny here today in Charlottetown. A little less cold. Things are going okay. And I hope wherever you are that you're in a safe spot and everything's good. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new around here, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you like the Pelikano if you have one. And if you have a more expensive Pelican, what do you like about it? Which is your favorite Pelican? Doesn't have to be the most expensive. Could be the cheapest. Pelican Twist. What is it? Let me know. I'm interested in learning. Anyway, I hope you have a good day. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.